Hi, welcome along to AFTV. The guys caught me on the op there, right? Because we've been having it right. Listen, this guy here, Lee Judge, has been driving me mad already, right? I don't know if it's the fact that he's got a bad back or the news that it's looking like Declan Rice is out of the Arsenal team today. But he, as you can imagine, he's not an happy bunny.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
You've got Marty in the building. And
you've got his name.
He's just this guy, man.
Well, I'm actually not knowing what time we kick off
Christian
today.
in the building.
You know what time kick-off it was?
I thought it was 8 o'clock.
I thought it was 8 o'clock.
It's not crime, is it, Lee?
You know what fault done, didn't you?
Listen.
We've got Christian as well.
Right, Christian.
And,
someone
guys,
sensible in.
I mean, that is the news. The big news is that it's looking like no Declan Rice tonight, unless there's some proper CIA, covert, FBI type vibes that Arsenal are coming off with. The news circulating around is that no Declan, that's a hammer blow, isn't it?
Of course it is. Yeah, I think we're all feeling the same way. Any Arsenal fan has seen that news today. I was having a good day. I went to Oxford yesterday. I had stayed the night, had a lovely day, explored Oxford, saw the grounds, the university. I'm driving home and I'm thinking, oh, right, this will be my team tonight.
A good day, is it?
I had a lovely day.
Jeez, what a life out, mate.
You're not know about relaxing, all right? He's always tense.
Well, I'd rather go to Spa than the university. But there you go,
Drinking his
right?
Red Bull. I had a nice relaxing day. I'm driving back and I'm thinking, look, hopefully Timber's back, maybe Calafiori will be back, but hopefully that was a little knock. I don't know about Calafiori. I'm thinking, apart from that, Gabriel, 15 minutes against Brighton, he'll probably start. Saliba. I'm thinking midfield's going to be good. Saka, probably start Gyökeres, Trossard.
Even the possibility of Havertz, maybe.
Havertz maybe back in the squad now. Obviously, Jesus has been back. I'm thinking, you know what? Injuries ain't looking that bad. All of a sudden, it comes up. Declan Rice out. I'm like, what? My dad actually sent it to a group. Nah. Sometimes the trolls, they send them through. I'm like, nah, this can't be. I click on it, I see it's actually true. I was like, what is going on? Like, honestly, I saw Cecil did a video. He said something so true. Instead of doing your transfer daily, start doing injury daily. We get more injuries than we'll transfers it. We'll probably have more injuries in January than we get transfers.
So guaranteed.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But, and I'll say this, I still think we should be strong enough to beat Villa. Even with Rice out.
It's a big blow, though, isn't it?
It is a big blow.
He's been our main guy. We've been saying it for a long time that the one player in this team that irreplaceable is Declan Rice.
Yeah, because we haven't got no one to replace him. We were talking about it just off air. Saka, you've got Madueke, who's not quite as good as Saka, but the drop-off isn't so big. Like it's a big blow, but look, injuries happen. Like, I'm out of the vets team at the moment. These things happen,
He's only saying that because he's out. He's only saying that because he's got an injury, right?
Part and parcel of football, isn't it?
How comes we get so many? I mean, super chat here.
That is something that's got to be spoken.
A super chat here from Tani. She says, at this point, we don't need the medical staff. We need a priest. Right? Yeah. You know what I mean? And some cleansing ritual. I mean, what's going on?
You cannot keep saying, I'm not going to go into it too deep and all that. You cannot keep saying it's unlucky. Do something about it. It keeps happening. So you, as a club, as a manager, you know what I mean? I'm not saying sack people, but have a look at their credentials to see if they are actually physios and people that are in there. Because at this moment in time, they cannot keep... he turns around and says Saliba's out for days. You know what I mean? Well, days turn into weeks with our medical staff. It's not acceptable. Keep getting
apparently this injury is going to keep him out for at least 2 weeks.
Which is, Liverpool, Bournemouth, Liverpool and Portsmouth. You know what I mean? 3 games that he would play in. But listen, the one thing I will say is, it's very rare in this day and age in football that a player goes every single game. You have to find solutions and have to find ways to get around it. It's not, and I've seen online a lot of people saying, oh, he's been flogged and he's that. He hasn't been flogged. He's been left out against Bruges. He got left out against Crystal Palace. He hasn't been playing week in, week out over the last few weeks. He has been rested. It's just an unfortunate thing. But it's the Madueke injury to a knee. Walked off the pitch, didn't see anything wrong with it. All of a sudden, he's not about for weeks. Now, Declan Rice, how many more of these sort of niggling? Look, I understand it. It's an impact injury. You get it. It happens. But it's too many niggly little injuries that keep happening. And I don't care what anybody says. It must be this. We're having a day off training today. Well, hold on, Mikel. We've got a new training kit to advertise. Get out there and train on it so that we can sell it for next week. All right, yeah, because we're out there. Because there's no rhyme or reason why these players should be training.
Well,
They're trained on Christmas Day.
Apparently you got injured in the actual game, the Brighton game.
Yeah, but I think there's something in that. Just rest them. What are they training for Christmas Day?
Yeah, but you got injured in the game.
No, but you know why that's worse, Rob? And I said this to Lee, I said this just before. This is why we need to finish our chances, right? If we're 3 or 4-0 up in that game, and Rice goes over to the side and says, you know what, I'm feeling a little something in my knee, say, right, come off. Yeah, instead, don't finish our chances. It's 2-1.
Can't
and
take them
we're holding on for 15, 20 minutes. Don't get me wrong, they didn't really create much. But you need Rice on the pitch. Yeah, you can't just bring him off because we didn't finish the chances and it's 2-1. One more goal and it's a draw. So it can work both ways.
Well, listen, it works. Attention turns to now, and we're going to get the team probably in about the next 7-8 minutes' time as to who comes in for Rice. Because we're not sure if Calafiori is going to be playing. There's a rumour that he's still out. There's a rumour that Timber could be out as well. I mean, this is a huge game tonight. We can't be missing too many of these massive players. But in that midfield area, who for you, Marty? What would you do? Who would you play?
For me, there's two simple options. One thing I'll just touch on that. Obviously, Declan Rice got played out of position, played right back. It's not a position that he usually plays, and I saw him doing a lot more running in that game. And listen, he put levels in. There was challenges that he was putting in. He was like a man possessed, and whether that's got anything to do with it, I don't know. But
it's a great point.
And playing right back to playing as a number 8, there is a lot more up and down. You're expecting there's a lot more overlapping, running the channels, etc. So like I said, I saw in front of me the levels that he put in. Now, for me, the midfield options that he's got. Is obviously Zubimendi plays in the 6. You either straight swap him for either Norgard or Merino. There's 2 options there. Or you put Odegaard in the 8 and you put Eze in the 10. Now, Eze had a terrible game against Villa last time. Listen, we bought him for a large sum of money. He was fantastic against Tottenham. I love the player. I think he's phenomenal. This is a great opportunity for him to right those wrongs against Villa. And also Odegaard as well. He's come back from injury. I thought he was fantastic against Brighton. He showed that he can, that was the Martin Odegaard that we came to know and love. The silky smooth ball playing ability, the finisher, sticking the ball in the back of the net, that footballing IQ that he has. Now, he, for me, is an obvious option to put into that 8 because of his ability.
What do you think the manager will do, though?
I think that he's going to straight swap him for Merino and stick Odegaard, leave Odegaard where he is, and he'll straight swap Rice for Merino. I do think he'll do that, but I would like to see what I'd like to see tonight, because look, this Villa team can be got at. This Villa team naturally starts slow. Their first halves of football, similarly to ours actually, against Chelsea they went 1-0 behind. But what Unai Emery has an acute ability is to bring on the right players at the right time. We saw it against us when he brought Buendia on, and we saw it against Chelsea when he made those substitutions. He brings Ollie Watkins on, and then obviously they go on to... They're a completely different team. After about 60, 70 minutes, in the first half, Chelsea dominated them. That Chelsea team wasn't that good. But then Unai Emery found a way to bring on the right substitutes, pick that team apart, and get the result he needed to do. And that's what he does. That's where Unai Emery is very good. In those situations, he's got options off the bench. They've got fantastic players. They've got Rodgers, Tillemans. They've got a great midfield.
They're missing Camara, who's like their Declan Rice. He's like their Declan Rice, and they're missing Matty Cash. He's like, you could say that's their Timber.
Yep.
So you say. Do you agree with that? Would that be your midfield, or what would you like to see, and what do you think he'll go with?
I would like to see Eze. I would like to see a midfield 3 of Zubimendi, Eze and Odegaard. Odegaard never really plays as a 10 anyway. I think he was more forward for us than he's been in the past couple of years against Brighton. He was in those number 10 positions. He was. And it was probably his best game in 2 years for Arsenal. So I'd love to see him in those positions. I'd love to see him in the right 8, Eze as a left 8 and Zubimendi in the 6. Whether he'll do that, probably not. Arteta usually goes safe, especially in a big game like this when Onana's probably going to have to play. He's quite a physical player. He will probably play Merino. And I'd understand it, man. I like Merino as a player. I think he's always better when he plays up top. But international player, can do a job in there. He's not Declan Rice, but no one is. So
yeah,
I think he'll go Marino. I'd love to see Eze, so yeah, I guess we'll see what he
Let me
does.
do a couple of super chats and I'll find out from Lee. You go for. Baldor 452 says our medical team needs investigating. This can't just be bad luck. Nobody is able to win titles like this. Forget transfer daily, medical weekly. When right? And also this one coming from AES. He says Arteta has completely mismanaged the squad. These many injuries aren't bad luck. He wants high intensity, control the ball, drains players, and doesn't use the squad. Wanyeri and Norgard are here for what?
Let's talk.
Who would you play? Would you play Wanyeri in there?
No, I wouldn't play Wanyeri in there. I would go with Eze and Odegaard, but I think he'd go Marino. And I just, when people turn around and say it's Arteta's fault of when did Gabriel get injured?
For Brazil.
You know what I mean? Timber has had to play because Ben White. The only time that I blame Arteta for our injuries and whatever is the one on Ben White, when he played Ben White after 4 games and put Nketiah in and left back and left out Miles Lewis-Skelly. The obvious one was putting Miles Lewis-Skelly at left back, Timber at right back and give Ben White a rest. That would have been the only thing. The only time, you know what I mean, he's rested, as I said, Declan Rice when he's had to. There's no two ways about that. He's rotated Saka, he's rotated the wide players on the left-hand side, he's rotated the striker. I don't think there's much more that he can do when people are saying he's flogging everybody. The only one that he hasn't really rotated is Declan Rice, but we know how important he is. But Declan's not played against Bruges and he didn't play against Palace.
I don't really think he's flogged players this season. And I also heard that, what they've been doing this season, as soon as a player feels any sort of niggle or whatever discomfort, they get them straight off and replace them with other players. And that's why, we've seen such a use of the squad. But there has just been a lot of injuries. I mean, it is something that definitely needs to be looked at, you know what I mean? Because it's unusual, the amount of injuries we're getting. Niall Joyce 37 says, got a bad feeling about this one. I think the only way we win is if we have a decent lead at half time. We actually had that last year and it still drew 2-2, right? But, this is going to be a big test today, a massive, massive test.
I'd rather be playing them at home. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think they've still got the advantages going into this game. I've been very disappointed.
But we didn't have a full team when we went there either, did we?
No,
no Saliba or Gabriel.
Saliba and Gabriel.
And Mosquera. I've been really disappointed in my groups and that. You know what I mean? As soon as they've heard this, that's it, we've lost. You know what I mean?
I don't know why people are like that. I don't know what people are saying.
I still think without Declan Rice, we've still got good players. You know what I mean? I still look at. You've still got Marino that can come in who's decent, you know what I mean? You've still got people like Eze, and other teams ain't got that. They've lost 2 players, Kamara, and who are they bringing into their midfield today? They're certainly going to be not of the calibre that we've got.
No, will probably come in.
And if you
but you know what I mean? He ain't as good as what we've got.
No, I agree.
You look at our bench as well. Right, whatever bench we've got, whatever we start with, our bench is insane. We've got players that can come off and make a difference. What it is going at this Villa team and getting into them, getting stuck into them. I think they're on their best run since 1914 or something like that. They've never won more games in a row.
All right, well, listen, I've got the team.
Oh, here we go.
So
here we go.
Here is the starting 11 that's going to be playing today.
Gyökeres right back.
Yeah.
Raya in goal.
Yes.
Jurrien Timber is in from the beginning. Saliba, Gabriel and Piero Nketiah. So no Calafiori in from the start. The midfield is?
Marino.
Zubimendi. Marino, Odegaard.
And Odegaard.
Sure?
Yeah.
You're all going that?
No.
You'd all take a tenner out of your pocket and put it on that right now?
I would.
Let's go with Eze, Odegaard and Zubimendi.
Changing your mind? What are you going?
Why not? I'm going to go with that.
Eze, Odegaard. What are you sticking? Marino?
Marino, yeah. But I'd love to.
It'll be Marino.
The midfield is Zubimendi, Odegaard,
Marino.
Mikel Marino.
Thank you very much.
Up front, Victor Gyökeres down the middle, Saka and Leandro Trossard. That is the starting lineup. Here's the subs. Interesting. Kepa, Ben White.
Yeah, but I know Ben White was back.
Lewis Skelly, Norgard, Eze, Martinelli, Madueke, Jesus, and Kai Havertz. Back in the squad.
Havertz is in there because of Rice going out then.
Kai Havertz back into the squad. So Good news that Havertz is back. Good news that Gabriel starts. Good news that Timber's in there. No Rice. But, you know, what do you make of that, guys?
Yeah, it's good. This is a very, very strong side. I think when you look at that side, it's a very, very strong side.
Timber being back's a big plus.
Yeah.
Big plus.
100%.
That's a really strong back four. Obviously, the goalkeeper.
But it's a stronger back four than when we went there.
Yeah, exactly. It's a
Because
strong.
our back four that night at Villa was
Timber.
White, Timber,
Timber,
and Capia. Timber was at centre back, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Calafiori playing that game.
And Calafiori did.
Calafiori.
That's the strongest. That's the strongest defence we've had.
Well, it's only Calafiori's out of it, isn't it?
Yeah. But
It's 2 players away from our first 11. Calafiori would start if he was fit.
Yeah.
Rice would start if he was fit. But there's an argument in Capia. I know you got your qualms against him, Lee, but I think he's a good player. You're never going to come in and be world class straight away. When Gabriel came in, people said he was a bozo. He made mistakes. It takes time to bed into it. The level of our defence, right, is one of, if not the best in Europe. To come in and perform at that level is tough, and I think he's done a good job.
Has he done enough to out Miles Lewis-Skelly from left back? I don't think so.
He obviously has in training for Arteta.
Well, that's what we don't know. Like, I mean, but I look at last season when I thought that Miles Lewis-Skelly was brilliant last season. I don't think he deserved to be dropped. The only reason he got left out of this team in the first place, and I can't argue with it, was Calafiori was outstanding. But with Nketiah, you know, there's a mistake there.
I think the thing.
But there is a mistake with Miles Lewis-Skelly.
I think the thing with Nketiah, why I said it to you before, Lee. Well, I think he gets in at the moment ahead of, and the same with Calafiori is that they offer more width as well. So as well as coming inside, they can go out wide. They've got a bit of pace to get past players. Whereas Miles don't really have that. He's more going to invert in. So
I get that.
he doesn't. And I think maybe that's why Nketiah's been getting the nod over him.
And a bit more experience as well. A bit more experience than Miles Lewis-Skelly. Big games, situations, pressure. I think he's...
But Marino's in. Big game for Marino. This is what, you know what I mean, like, he stepped up before when he's been asked to play as a striker.
Never in midfield as much, though.
But this year in midfield now, what is he going to do in that midfield? I mean, he's got big shoes to fill.
Not a lot.
Not a lot. I think that's harsh on Marino.
No, I love Marino when he's been up top for us and all that, but as a midfield player, he doesn't do enough for me in midfield. I'm sorry, like, you know what I mean?
And he's going to have to tonight because one of the strengths of Aston Villa is their midfield. Tielemans and whether it's Buendia, Rodgers.
Look what's just walked in there.
I know, superstar levels.
No, I do believe it's 7:30. It's dark
Red
out.
glasses.
He's coming with shades on.
Cecil G's just
those
walked in.
glasses those are the.
Don't make the excuses for him.
Those are the glasses that film me.
Well,
Film stars wear.
Yeah.
It's coming like Hollywood A-lister.
The Ray-Ban glasses that film me.
Yeah.
He's not up with modern technology, Cecil. You know what I mean?
How's your back?
It's a bit of a low blow.
Yeah, it was.
That was a low
It was a bit
It was a bit out of order, that, wasn't it?
But listen, like we said, good that that back four's in. We know what the midfield is now. Victor Gyökeres, big game for him.
Yeah.
These are the big games that he's been brought in to, make a difference in. He's not been showing it recently. This game's huge for Victor Gyökeres. Weren't impressive at all against Brighton. This is massive.
I didn't think he was that bad against. He didn't want bad against.
Yeah, but he
just missed a
hasn't-
couple of chances.
Do you know what it is? Is that chance early on.
Early on,
in a game like this against Villa,
You got to take that.
You get that chance. You're 3 minutes in. You put that in the back of the net. Then all you need is another. And a game like this can swing very quickly the way you want it to swing. And this. I can't emphasise enough. How important it is with this Villa team to get ahead. Because listen, if it gets to 60, 70, 80 minutes and it gets a bit nervy, this is when this Villa team will hurt you.
The pressure's on us in this game.
This is when that Villa team will operate in those latter stages of the game. We know we have been conceding late goals as well. We've been nervy at the end of games. We saw it against Brighton. We saw it against Wolves. We've seen it against Sunderland, where we just can't seem to finish off teams. 100%. But also on another note, one thing I do believe with this Arsenal side is that someone soon is in line for a good hiding. A
Tossi's
real
been
good.
saying the same thing on our.
Yeah, I know. Someone's in line for it. Like this Arsenal team ain't dished out a good spanking to someone in a little while, and we've been doing it this season. This team can do it.
Yeah, I mean, Villa have got an unbelievable record. I think, like you said, 11 straight wins. And, I know a lot of people have been panicking with Rice out and that. But I had to say to somebody today, I remember when we played Real Madrid, they had an even better record, right? They hadn't lost any games Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
They hadn't lost any games in any competitions. They came there and we did actually.
Do you know who the last team to have
really well?
Last team to have 11 wins in a row was?
Arsenal.
Under
Unai Emery.
Yep.
Yeah, when Unai Emery was in charge.
Yeah.
We went on that run. And it was, you know what, it was a similar run like what they got, where we kept thinking, how did we win that? Like, we were just like, you know. Their team, by the way, let me give you the Aston Villa team. In goal is Emi Martinez. It looks like at the back it's, of course, Konsa, Luca Digne, Buendia's in from the start, Onana, Lindelof plays, Morgan Rogers, Jadon Sancho in from the beginning, Yuri Tielemans and Ollie Watkins gets the start. So that's their team. And on the bench is Biscott, Garcia, Hemmings, Matson, Marlon, McGinn. McGinn's surprised that he's on the bench, but McGinn's on the bench. Roof and Wright. So that is their team. So a few changes for them. Would it be Lindelof then who's going to play at right back?
I think so.
Which is, you know, come on, we can get at that.
100%.
It'd be Onana coming into the midfield for Kamara. Big guy, as we know, big strong guy, so he'll put a lot of physical presence, gets around the pitch. But I do think that's their strength, is that midfield, Onana, Tielemans, you know, and we got to watch out for Luca Digne, swings in a great cross. And also Ollie Watkins, who's, you know, he up until Saturday, hadn't really been on any form at all this season, hadn't really scored hardly any goals. Everyone, you know, a lot of Villa fans been saying he's not really been performing, but he'll come into this confident with a couple of goals.
And the mad thing is he is an Arsenal fan, and he's always done really well against us and scored goals.
He has, and he also hasn't. There's been a couple of times Villa past few years he's had big chances.
Like the other game.
Even this season.
Like we've
a couple of big chances last season.
Great point.
Big chances that he missed. I think Villa have done the damage rather than Watkins doing the damage. They've probably been, over the past 5 years, our biggest bogey team. You know, that 23-24 season, one loss in that last 18 games against Villa. You know, we've struggled to get results. When we've got results against them, it's been when it hasn't really mattered. So this
last season, as I said, 2-0 up.
2-0 up, we drew 2-2, didn't we?
Season before we lost to them at home.
Exactly. So
this season, lost to them in a last-minute winner. It's going to be a really tough game.
I'm still confident we can win. Don't get me wrong, I'll give them credit. The run they're on is incredible. But I think you said it, Marty, there's been signs. I watched that game against Chelsea. First half, they're all over the place.
Yeah, terrible.
Yeah, if Chelsea had taken their chances.
The funny thing is about, as I said, it reminds me of when we went on that run that time with Unai Emery, because the funny thing is, right, they've had a couple of, the game against Man United.
Yeah.
Thought United were all over them, but quality. When they got this couple of chances, bang, bang. You know what I mean? Even the game against Brighton, they were 2-0 down in that game, weren't they? So, you know, they can be got up, but I feel we're going to have to play well. The crowd's going to have to be up for it tonight. We're under a lot of pressure today. I think for Villa, if, you know, they'll look on it, at the moment, most of their fans are saying they're not in a title race. We're just glad to be up there, top four we're going for. You know what I mean? Even you heard Unai Emery, they're taking a lot of the pressure off. And they'll view this game as a little bit of a free hit kind of thing. But for us, a draw will be a bad result because City are playing tomorrow.
Yeah.
But a victory could be huge because a victory puts 6 points gap between us and Villa and a 5-point gap on, you know, Man City ahead of their game, and they've got to go away to Sunderland tomorrow. Yeah. Not always an easy game.
New Year's Day.
New Year's Day, apologies. New Year's Day. So this is a big, big game for Arsenal. Absolutely massive.
It's huge. The way I see it, this could be a very pivotal moment in the season. Exactly what you said. The points, it's a 6-pointer, if there's ever been one. Put some space between us and them, put the pressure on City. And it's nice to be playing first, you know. Last couple of times, City have put the pressure on us. They've gone above us. And we've then, done our job, gone back above them. So make it 5 points. Make it 6 points on Villa and put the pressure on them.
Another super chat here from Maz.
I think it's massive. I'm confident still. Like, you know, Declan Rice is a loss, but Timber coming back, that's a big, big plus.
Mazun says, why does Arteta refuse to use Norgard? He's a very good defensively and can help in midfield, was great in the Champions League and the Cup games. Norgard should have started today ahead of Marino. Norgard's not really a box. Norgard's more a replacement for Zubimendi, isn't he? Rather than, a replacement for Declan Rice. I think that's the thinking behind that. Big from the group says losing Rice is tough, but what is our record with Gabriel and Saliba? We have our centre-back partnership back. We can do this. Come on, you Gunners. 2-1 to the Arsenal, he's saying. Of course, the other thing, it's great to have Gabriel back, but the other thing we're going to miss out on is the delivery from set pieces of Declan Rice, which, for me, him and Saka, they deliver the 2 best set pieces in the league. We're going to miss out on it from that side.
Yeah, maybe that's where someone else steps up. Martinelli used to take our corners until
this would be
until Rice took him and was poor, but yeah, we've still got another 11 other professionals, should I say, on that pitch. Someone else can swing in a bit.
Odegaard?
He's left-footed though, isn't he?
No, Martinelli's the one who used to take the corners before Rice.
So who would take him on the right now?
Trossard, maybe?
It'd be Martinelli.
Would it be Trossard?
Martinelli's not playing.
Martinelli's on
the bench.
So
it'd be Trossard.
Trossard on the corner.
Well, I don't know.
All right, does it? Maybe Zubimendi? And he would be in a ball.
Maybe.
Maybe Saka does both sides.
Out swinger.
He could probably do it as well.
Gyökeres,
he could do something.
Curtin Shaw says, home strong defence should show intent with Eze and Odegaard. Well, he hasn't gone with Eze from the start. Guys, Gyökeres, talk to me. This is a big game for him, Lee.
Big game, big call by the manager. I would have gone the other way for this game. I thought Jesus has done enough to warrant a start with his performances, but this is what I would say from the manager, a real faith one. I'm putting my faith in you. Deliver and don't let me down, sort of thing. I think it's good management if he gets it right, because I think, say if Gyökeres goes on a run and scores a few goals now, right? People will look back and go, well, where did it? Was that game against Villa when people were calling for his head? Maybe the right decision to leave him out, but he didn't, and he's gone on from there. So for me, this is a massive, massive game for him today.
That's exactly how quickly football can change. Is if Gyökeres goes out tonight on that pitch and scores 2 goals, and we go and win this game, everyone will be turning around, saying that he's the Messiah, and I don't care how he's been playing, he's saved us. And that's what he needs to realise in this game, in how important and how he can really, I say resurrect his Arsenal career, but really kick his Arsenal career on. And make a statement and be like, well, this is why you bought me, it's for these games, and this is what I'll give you. And I might be a bit bad for a couple of games, and I might, be a bit out the game or whatever. I'm not really that interested at the moment in this off-the-ball stuff, because you want your striker on the ball, right? And there's been a lot of talk about that. I want him to start sticking the ball in the back of the net, and this is a perfect opportunity for him to do that.
Ahmed Ali says, what do you guys think about certain ITKs leaking the Rice injury news a few hours before the game? Feels very deflating as a fan. I mean, what I'd say on that, I've seen some of that and heard some of the people. Listen, these guys, they've got a website. It's news for them, isn't it? So, if they've got that news, they're going to say what it is, because if they don't, someone else is. The news would have came out.
The only thing that I don't like about it is how have they got the news? Right, that's the one thing I don't like about it. Are they so far in that they can get that sort of news, which I don't think is a good thing.
No, Rice wasn't seen today, was he?
Not but listen, they can make whatever it was. But for me, I'd rather know 2 hours ago. No, if they're going to get it, they're going to get it. But you know what I mean? Like, where have they got that? Someone's telling them that. You know what I mean? Like, obviously they're not going to keep it secret. So why are you telling them? Secondly, from a fan's point of view, I'm glad that I know, because I'll tell you what, if I'd known now, I've had 2 hours to digest the situation, get my anger out, what I think of everybody at the football club, and when I walk through that turnstile today, I'm up for it.
Yeah.
So ain't a bad thing.
Nazin 8311 says also we got injuries because Arteta hasn't been rotating in the league, overplaying our players like Rice, and should have used Norgard in the league.
Got something to say on that, Rob? Because people have said this to me, and I've tried to back Arteta a lot, yeah? All right, give me a sec. Frank Lampard, right, played for Chelsea, yeah? 2001, 2002, played 37 Premier League games. 2002, 2003, 38 Premier League games. 03-04, 38 Premier League games. 04-05, 38 Premier League games. 05-06, 35 Premier League games. 6-7, 37 Premier League games.
Wow.
Under Jose Mourinho.
The numbers.
Were they saying that he's being flogged? Or do you just play your best players? Yeah?
Play your best
Go
players.
and look up, that's Frank Lampard. Look up Gerrard, Scholes, any of these eights or midfielders you want to talk about. You play your best players. Look up Salah.
I'm sure Haaland this season's played.
Haaland in the
practically
Premier League.
every
yeah?
Premier League
Doesn't
game
matter
this
if they're
season.
playing Burnley, if they're playing against us. Haaland plays. You might rest him in the Champions League, Carabao Cup, Premier League, where you have to win. Your best players play.
Haaland
I'll tell you
plays,
what,
Ruben Diaz plays literally every game. I mean, you get players like that in every team who plays every
That's
game.
an
if
amazing
they're
point,
fit.
what he says there about Frank Lampard. I wonder how many games, though, that he completed. And what I mean by that is that what you're going on about a little bit earlier, they're ruthless. They're 3 or 4-0 up. They can maybe take these players off.
Agree.
To be able to do that. We haven't been out... Would you took Declan Rice off against Brighton?
No.
Well, a heck of a like.
Well, he's playing it right back as well.
Should we have took him off against Wolves? He shouldn't even started against Wolves.
Yep.
But we still we couldn't do it. So when I look at these players here, and I'm looking at players like Eze, Gyökeres, Martinelli, Trossard, Odegaard now. You guys have got to come in and do the business, and that will then relieve the pressure for the manager to make certain changes.
Yeah, Neil Joyce, 37, says that looks like a lightweight midfield. Onana is going to bully that Arsenal midfield. He looked great when he came in for the game against Chelsea. Another super chat says, I like Gyökeres, a striker today. If Villa try and attack us, he can possibly get some transition chances, says Guna for life. Thing is about Villa, they don't go all out attack either.
No, they
I
won't.
think
They're clever.
they sit pretty deep, they do, and then look for you to make mistakes and catch you on the counter-attack. They play in a kind of very sort of safe way, and then have got really good quality in transition. No Ethan even on the bench, says Steve K. That's true. And Ryan Glasgow says, Robbie, would you give up the invincible for Jamaica to win the World Cup? And would you swap the best winger in the Premier League history, 8 years of a prime Salah for Saka? Whoever wins us the league, I'll take. Right? Also...
It's interesting when he's not on the bench.
Yeah.
I've heard he's going to Bournemouth.
So yeah, I'd heard from quite a while that Brentford was the team.
Yeah.
I heard that
Sure it
weeks
weren't
ago.
Bournemouth? You didn't mishear that?
Brentford was what I heard weeks
You
ago.
might have misheard it, though. Bournemouth.
Well,
Either
maybe the same Bournemouth
either.
now.
I have heard both. Link up with Reiss
Brentford.
Nelson at Brentford.
I heard Brentford about 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be mad if he went on loan. Because he's third choice in two positions.
I've heard that
isn't
we're going to sell
No
him.
Wanyeri on the bench. January loan pending, says Nans 94.
I don't think
I said it to you about 6 weeks ago, innit?
Yeah,
I heard,
you did,
I heard
yeah.
that he's supposed to be going out on loan.
So if you think about in the 10, Odegaard's first choice, Eze's second choice, Nonieri's third choice. On the right, Saka's first choice, Madueke's second choice.
I think it should be a good thing for it. We was discussing this
I said it in my interview on people were slagging me off.
Saliba's
Right?
been on loans for the last 8 years, and he wasn't even nowhere near the Arsenal first team.
Yeah.
Sometimes a loan can do
Jack
you good
Wilshere had
rather
the
than
best-
just sitting there not playing.
Jack Wilshere had the best 6 months when he went to Bolton.
He went to
Remember
Bolton,
that?
didn't he? Yeah, came back a different player.
Come back a completely different player. Went there as a boy, come back as a man. Only 6 months.
Yeah.
Same could happen with Wanyeri.
Harry Kane was one of them as well. He was
Harry
at Norwich.
Kane on many a loans.
Was where else
Many
was it?
Norwich,
Leicester.
Leicester,
100%.
Millwall.
Yeah.
There's nothing. That's what I was saying the other day when people were slagging me off for saying what I said. He has to wait. He's a quality young player. I love him as a player, but he's got Odegaard and Eze ahead of him.
I've heard
the club captain and a player that you paid £65 million. It's just unfortunate.
I've heard the Bournemouth one's permanent though. It's not a loan.
No, I've heard.
I've heard loan. I haven't heard
I don't think
permanent
they're
at all.
selling. They just gave him a new contract.
Yeah. Bournemouth are about to get, what's the name, innit, from Tottenham to replace Semenya.
Johnson.
Well, no,
Johnson.
Crystal Palace are putting
Brendan,
a bit...
Brendan Johnson.
He's going Palace.
Palace
Yeah.
about.
Brendan
Bournemouth
Johnson's
are
going
interested
Palace.
in him as well, apparently.
Yeah.
Predictions, guys. Let's get your predictions in.
2 players getting injured.
How many injuries?
Yeah. How many injuries?
When's
Who's
injury
getting
daily
injured?
starting, Rob?
Injury daily. Right, listen, I would. You're probably all right on that one, but scoreline.
3-1.
You're going 3-1,
3-1.
Mike. Even with hearing no Rice.
No to Villa. No. No. 3-1 to Arsenal. Yeah, no Rice, yeah. We've got players to do the job. We could listen. This Villa, it's about going at them. If you even get 1 or 2-0 up, you need to go for the juggler. You need to see him off. Can we get the job done? I do believe we can. We're a really good side. We're the best team in the Premier League at the moment.
I would have said 3-1 as it stands. But what I will say is, taking Declan Rice out and those set pieces is a goal down for us. So 2-1 to the Arsenal.
It's interesting what you just said, Mark, because I'm not sure we are at the moment. Performances-wise, I think City the last maybe month have looked better than us. I think they've had 4 clean sheets in a row before Nottingham Forest, and even Nottingham Forest, I think they deserve to win. It's a tough place to go. Yeah, I said 3-1 before I saw that Rice was out. I'm going to stick to it. I still think we're good enough. I think it's just going to come down to whether we take our chances or not.
Yeah, I think I'm going to adjust it to 2-1, like what Lee said. I do fancy us. We have weathered injuries all season. Yeah. So this ain't nothing unusual. You know what I mean? So I may as well stick with it. But I'm going... Yeah,
well, listen, I'll say it now. We're at home. We're at home. It's a big advantage.
People, remember as well, we're at home. We haven't lost a game at home this season. We've won every single game apart from the City game. As I said, we took on a team in Bayern Munich that also were completely unbeaten, you know, and a better team than Villa, and beaten 3-0.
And we had 3-1.
If the team
we had no Gabriel in that game.
Yeah, if the team turns up today, they can do the job. We've got to take our chances, man. We have to. That's been the Wolves game, horrible performance. We know that, but the last couple games, there's been enough chances to win games handsomely, and they've ended up being nervy.
That's the thing.
The other thing is not to feel sorry for ourselves. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't think we have this season, have we?
Let's get to the Emirates. Let's get it pumping. Let's get it up there, and let's go and remember what this lot done to us in the last minute of Villa Park. That's enough to inspire anybody to get a result today.
Exactly.
Them all coming out, cheering and yelling and everything like that. I've got nothing against Aston Villa. I've got nothing against them going and doing that. Like, you know what I mean? Good luck to them.
Oh yeah, they give me a lot of stick outside.
They give us a lot of stick.
Hey, come on, Arsenal, man.
So we need to replay that back.
Yeah.
Put it on the video, Mikel, just before you go out. Have a look at all those players laying on the floor. Make sure you do it to them tonight.
They put the video of me getting sticked, right? I remember what fans had to go to after that game, right? That last minute sickener, right? Come on, let's get the job done, man. Let's go out there and win this game. Don't forget, there's 8,000 of you watching live right now. Rejoin us for the watch-along. It's the biggest game of the night. Arsenal versus Aston Villa. The place is going to be on fire, both at the ground and in the studio, so you don't want to miss it. Cecil's here, right? Christian's here as well. So make sure you join us for that. And also we'll be speaking to fans after the game. And hopefully it's a big win that we can finish 2025 on top of the league and take it into 2026 and put a bit of pressure on to Manchester City, who play on New Year's Day. Thanks for watching. Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everybody. Happy New Year.
And let's hope we get the job done tonight.